So, last video was a little weird, but we are getting back to normal now. I'm sure the effects of the last one won't come to affect things here at all. I'm sure it'll be fine. But getting on with today's very normal video, I'm going to be doing some building today, particularly on a little park area. Over here around the corner, next to where Count is building their new shop over here. Over here, is actually where the park's going to be built. And I've started laying out some little markers and stuff for what I'd like to do. I think this was for someone else's marker, but so I guess the best way to explain it is kind of get the general overview of what I want to have over here. This general area, I want to be like a big open park area, much more naturey than like the rest of the very downtown area we have over here. Getting more into like a little bit of like, I don't know, nice roaming country maybe a little bit. But this is like a bit more manicured, right, for the city that's right next door. So that's going to be kind of right here. And then I'd also like to improve some of my areas over here on the back. This is my little like pen of animals, which I want to make like a little barn slash shed or something back here to store them. Um, and then this over here is Shazane stuff. And I'm just going to leave that there for whenever they get back and what they want to do with that. And so I've got this little like road laid out that is going to have, it's going to be 3 blocks wide, enough so that maybe a car could fit in here, right? It's like a really tight alleyway. And then they can drive their car down over here. And I'm going to be moving this dumpster over here because I like the idea of having a dumpster back here, but it obviously can't be blocked by like the shed slash barn type thing. And so it's going to be over here, and we're going to have like a little bit of like a paved area, maybe where like employees park their cars, where the dump truck can come on over and actually like pick up the trash that's in the dumpster. And that's why we have the alleyway that'll lead into that. And then you can also, if you need to, drive down further this way. And then we're gonna have like a little bit of like a plaza courtyard type area over here. And maybe we'll put another dumpster somewhere around here. And then like cars could go all the way through over this way. They can't actually go through this way because you'd hit like pots and stuff, and that wouldn't be good. So, I mean, there's a lot to get done with this whole project. It feels kind of easy because it's like, oh, it's just like a little bit here and there, but it's going to turn into a lot, I can imagine. And so I've started also planning a little bit of this park area over here because this is kind of one of the most important areas for this whole like renovation. It's gonna be the biggest for sure. So I put down some logs to kind of be where I want like trees to be, because I want it to, so when you're in this park, it feels very naturey, it feels very cozy, and seeing these builds over here that are very like I don't know, downtowny, that isn't, it's very urbanized. And then having like a little alleyway road even isn't very like naturey. So I want to kind of cover it up with like a bunch of trees going on there, so maybe bushes and stuff, and then try to draw people's attention over towards this way. So I'm gonna have a big old lake over here, or not a lake, more like a pond, because this is too small to be a lake. And it's just gonna be a nice little cozy area because I was watching B Dubs's latest video, and he made an absolutely cozy little pond area, and I loved it. And I was like, man, I want to do that myself, and it probably won't look as good as his, but I want to try my hand at it and do something over here. And then we'll also have some trees kind of coming out this way, and then because there was not really land to plan on over here, I got lazy and didn't do anything, but we'll probably have some other sporadic trees around the pond to kind of frame things well. And then we've got some paths over here. We'll have a path going this way, where if you do want to connect up with like the alleyway and the barn area, you can do that. And then obviously you can go down this way over to the plaza if you need to. So it'll be nice and connect everything up with walkways. And then also the path will branch right at the beginning over here. And we'll probably go all the way down over to there, which that's Renee's house over there. So I thought that'd be nice to connect up with a little path going down that way. And I think overall it's going to look really good if I can pull it off. I haven't done many like custom trees in my time, and I'm like sort of planning on doing quite a few over there especially, but also just around. So we'll see how it actually turns out in the end. But I'm just going to get around to like kind of just trying things out, getting the landscape in general just in the right shape, and I'll see where I go from there. So, in case you guys didn't know, there's been a competition going on here on the server. It's already wrapped up and stuff. The voting process is going on right now. But the theme was either fantasy or sci-fi, which encompasses quite a lot of things. And we all got to pick a plot here. We all put in a few diamonds. I don't think it was many over there to actually participate. And then the winner will get whatever diamonds everyone put in there. And so this one over here is actually mine. I won't show off everyone else's. You can check out other people's videos, or Jaden, who set up this competition, should hopefully have something out soon about it. And you can check out there about how you can actually help participate in the voting process yourself. But here's my submission over here. I was really struggling for the longest time on what I wanted to do. And so I just kept on racking my brain on like something that's kind of unique that I hadn't seen before. And so I thought it'd be really funny if I use these pickles over here as little trees. And so that's what I did. It makes a very fun sound as you walk over it. Makes it sound all squishy, but it's like a little diorama now. And then I just put a castle in the middle because, it had to be sci-fi or fantasy. So this is the fantasy side of things. And yeah, I think it kind of turned out good. It's not like great, but also for like the scale, it's pretty darn good. And I went with something a little bit more like unique for the river. I could have just put like actual water here, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to make it like a different color instead of the like dark blue that, water normally is like that over there, Make it a little bit more fantasy. I don't know. I think it turned out pretty darn well. You guys can let me know what you think, and maybe you guys can vote for me in the final process whenever Jane gets around to setting that up. Oh, and I almost forgot to show you guys the best little feature of this little mini diorama. It's a bit interactive. Let's say some invaders are coming down this road, right? You normally like flip up the drawbridge, but it's come down for some reason. They break through the doors, and then these are supposed to be little houses, because I needed something like small and brown to make like little houses. But now you can set them ablaze as the barbarians are coming in and set everything on fire, and it's all horrible. Isn't that fantastic? So, after a lot of work, I am done with this park area. I'm absolutely in love with how this turned out. I didn't know exactly how it was going to look in the end, but like, oh my gosh, is it beautiful. I think this might be one of the best things like I've ever built, to be honest. It's just so cozy, so nice. And I'm just going to walk through kind of all the different parts here. First off, we've got this little like picnic table area for people to hang out with. We've got, if you've ever been to like a public park before, they have like those grills that are just available, like the charcoal grills. This is supposed to be like one of those. We've got a jukebox, which is literally just for people playing music here. So people can like hang out and stuff. And particularly from this side of the little picnic table is just gorgeous. And then over here, we've got a nice little bench for you to sit down on, relax, enjoy the beautiful view. Though you are being watched by the man at the pumpkin pie shop and Renee peeking over the side of that building, which is really funny, to be honest, that one. But otherwise, it's a very relaxing, nice little spot here. And just like overall, I feel like I did a great job with these trees. These ones over here are very repetitive, to be honest. But I came up with like a little way to like build the tree that was like nice and easy and quick and stuff. And so that's why they're kind of bland, just because I needed so many of them, and I didn't want to like make them really intricate or anything. Though I did try to put pickles in the trees, because I've seen Pearl do that before, and I love how her trees look. So I was like, well, if I want beautiful trees, I better do that too. So let me know if you like the pickles in the trees, if you guys don't like the pickles. Personally, this tree over here, obviously the best one. It's why it's the focus of like the whole build, besides the pond also, but like it's the focus tree. It looks gorgeous. You can even fly up and see a bit of it from here. And there's some unflattering angles, maybe. Honestly, I don't know. It's just like a nice little poofy tree. It might be the best tree that I've made yet, to be honest. There were some good ones when I made my museum like a few months ago, but like this one's like, oof, next level, I think. And then the little pond area over here, I used some like common techniques to make like little cattails with the glass panes and the candles, which obviously are great because that's, it's always good to have that. But I'm trying out a new little trick that I haven't seen anyone else do, so I think this is like a first, or at least a first for me. I haven't seen any, I didn't get it from anyone else, I just thought of it. I wanted like the little bits of grass that kind of pop up through like the bits of water that you have. And so I literally just use tall grass around here, but to make sure they don't get washed away, you can have leaves that are waterlogged next to it, and then the water won't spill out of the leaves. And so if you look at it from like this angle or, up from above, like it doesn't look great because you can tell like it's not waterlogged. These aren't waterlogged, but like from any of the paths, you literally can't tell. Even from like over here, when you're like really close to it, you can't tell that this isn't like also in the water. Not really. You can sort of tell, but it's not like obvious. And so I feel like it just looks so good, and it just like adds so much depth to the pond because like I don't know, I've seen so many ponds with little bits of grass coming up all around the edges and things like that. So I think it looks fantastic. I'm so happy with how the pond looks. I also added some little flowers off in the tall grass over there, which is like a thing B-dubs does, and I love it when I see a B-dubs build with that off in the tall grass. So I was like, or little pops of color in general, not specifically that flower, but there's like little pops of color off in the grass, and so I wanted a bit of that too. And then we have a bit of a focus point here, right? When you walk in, because this is kind of the point of view that I really wanted people to see. Originally, I had the entrance plan to come out over here next to the trees, but it didn't give you like the correct like focus points that I wanted. First off, we've got the pond, which is like the main focus of this little park area. You've got the tree, which is another big focus of when you walk in. And then you've also got this little like shed, cabin, barn type area that I will show you in just a second. But I really liked how you could just see this through the trees. There's a little path running over to it, and you can see it from this angle. So I really wanted to make sure when people came in here, they could see it as they walked in, because it's just a nice little like point of interest, I guess, right? So yeah, let's actually go over there. Let's go see what I did over behind the park area, since I've also been working on this. I've got the little alleyway running over here. I didn't decorate this side because Count is still working on the building. It's still in progress, and I didn't know how he wanted to like decorate it, if he wanted to have some bushes or greenery or something. I think some bushes or greenery would be nice, but I wanted to kind of leave that up to him. These trees over here look kind of bad when you're this close to them because they're like very flat. Nemo was telling me this, but I think it works, and people hopefully won't be using this as much. Hopefully the park is more used. And then over here we've got a nice little like, I don't know what you call this. This is like the alleyway. I guess this is part of the alleyway. It's got the dumpster over here, so now the dump truck can come on in, pick up the trash from the dumpster. It's got access to that. Got a little parking spot, maybe for people that work here. And we've got a little barn area for I'm keeping my animals now. Instead of just in an open pen, I've got a nice little area for them, which is awesome. I decided to sell all my skeleton horses, so they're up for sale now because, well, there isn't much space here. It's already pretty crowded with these horses, but I think it works for what it needs to be, and it kind of fits perfectly here. The nice little shed. I've still got my back entrance to my shop back here, so I use this all the time now. When I was working on the park area, I came on through back this way into my little building, because that's my storage area up there. And then the alleyway continues down here, where there is another dumpster for the dump truck to pick up. It all connects up. And then we've got this nice little courtyard area where we've got some seating over here and over here. I just decorated it a little bit. I think, like, I didn't know quite how to decorate this area, like, fully. But I think just doing it very simply, just with little tufts of grasses, occasional bench or little bushes and stuff, I think is good. And then the dump truck can actually make a full trip all the way down and then through over here. Not this way because there's stuff in the way, and there's kind of a bump up, and also a real bump down, which is not safe for cars, I don't think. Okay, now let's go back over to the entrance, because let's say you don't go down this way over to the back alleyway. You can also go down over here, where it now connects up to Renee's main base. And there's also this nice little rock, which is, you don't really notice from the park area when you're like actually in the park, because it's just, you can see a little bit of the top. But when you're coming from Renee's area, you can actually see like more of it. And this is my first time like actually texturing a rock. Because I still haven't gotten around to texturing that big cliff face in my single player because I don't know, I've just been so like I just haven't done it before, so it's kind of stressful and like worrying on how you do it and stuff. And so I'd love for you guys to tell me if you guys think it's good, if you guys think it's bad. I feel like I can definitely improve on it. It's not like the best, but for a first time, it's decent. And I tried to keep like a consistent pattern for where I thought the sun was in this whole build. So for the spruce trees, I've actually like had a little highlight going on like this edge of all the trees. This big tree over here, I didn't know how to do a highlight when I was already using like the brightest leaves in the game. So I was like, well, I'll leave that without a highlight. But then the rocks also got a highlight in that same direction. So I kind of went from this vantage point and was like, okay, the sun's going right here. You got the brightest point here. You got a bit of a shadow, around it. Using like andesite is a little bit darker. Stone is normal brightness, I guess. And then little bits of tuff where you can't really see it from this angle, right? There you can see a bit of tuff occasionally, but like that tuff is sort of in the areas that are occluded when supposedly the sun's off in that direction, even though it's right there right now. So as a final little treat here, I thought I'd show you also what it looks like at night. Because I actually lit up this whole place, said it's totally spawn proof. I did, I think, a pretty good job at making sure that none of it's too bright. Obviously, we've got like a couple lanterns around the areas where like people would be sitting and they'd want to have a little bit of light. And then a lot of the light is around like the edges of the spruce trees. So a lot of the light doesn't like bleed into here. But obviously the middle center area needed a lot of light coming from it. And so I have it all around the edges of the pond essentially, which I think actually kind of looks cool at night because it like really draws your focus to the pond, which is again one of the focus points. And I just think it looks like really beautiful at night with it glowing, and I just think it looks awesome. And also like you can't even tell where I hid the lights. Though for those curious on where I did, I made a couple of these spruce planks instead be spruce stairs, and then I have a little frog light under there. And I only did it in places where there's the leaves, the waterlogged leaves in front, because the waterlogged leaves make it so you can't even see it. I tried doing it in front of the tall grass, but you can definitely see it from there. So you can't even see that there's frog lights here, and I think it's so cool how hidden the lights are, and it just looks gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I think I'll end it here, but if you guys have any suggestions, please leave it down in the comments, particularly about that rock that I'm a little unsure about, but really anything in the little park area, because I obviously want to improve myself. And I also just wanted to mention that if you would like to support my channel financially, you can make like a one-time donation with like a super thanks button down in the comments section, or it's somewhere in the description of the video. It's somewhere down below, there's the button. Or I do have the channel membership, that's just $2 a month, because I don't want people to spend a lot of money on this. This is more like, do you want to tip for great service? Because maybe this is great service, maybe it isn't. Also, just leave a lovely comment. I love those too. But yeah, honestly, just watching is enough support for me, but I just wanted to remind people that the membership stuff is there in case you're interested. And with that, I will see you all in the next video.